Hi, welcome to Prep No Do. I really wanted to go over some of the basics about the body armor construction and really what it talks to me about bullet resistant and actually body armor and what kind of the specifics are about it. So first we have our penetration, and really the speed of the bullet is actually the primary factor in causing the penetration of the round through the body armor, especially when you're talking about metal body armor systems. And if you can, an example of that is basically the 5.56. If you have an M193 round that's traveling out of a 22-inch barrel, and if it's going about 3,300, 3,350 feet per second, and that's going to penetrate a lot of your level 3 metal body armor systems, such as like your AR500, versus when you shoot out a 16-inch barrel and you only get about 3,100 feet per second, then you're not really looking at getting some of that penetration, and it really is effective at stopping that round. The next most important thing about penetration for a bullet is the actual bullet construction. Now you got your typical bullets that are full metal jacket, or maybe lead core or a mild steel core, but the weakest of those, you have your hollow point and your ballistic tip, and also your soft point bullets. And those really have a weakened front section of the bullet that basically the bullet is designed to open up and expand, versus a full metal jacket that's meant to pierce through any material that may resist it. Now your toughest and your best penetrators and the best bullet construction for penetration would be some type of steel insert or some type of material that's basically put in the tip of that to really puncture through anything, and that won't deform at all while it's penetrating through, and will maintain that pointy tip on the bullet. Now, examples of that are the M855, which we currently know is out there right now. There's a little controversy over that. And then also the M855A1. And if you've actually seen that, it's actually a steel penetrator rod that's actually inserted into the actual bullet after it's actually been created. So that's some basics about the bullet construction. Now one of the things that people don't talk about a lot is the actual momentum of the round. Now this can be related almost directly to the energy of the round, and it's basically the mass times velocity. And a lot of people know that the 7.62 by 39, even though it's a mild steel core bullet, is very effective at penetrating objects, and that's because it has a lot of momentum behind it. Now it's also carrying a lot more energy than typically your 5.56, or a little bit more. And so that gives it that extra effectiveness when it's carrying that momentum. It helps drive it through that barrier. And then last is its cross-sectional area. So you have a 5.56. Now if you push that to a high velocity, such as 3,300 feet per second, then you're looking at being able to penetrate an object easily. Now if you have a really wide object that isn't as heavy, it's not going to be able to push through as much. So that's some of the factors that you got to look at when you're talking about penetration. Now, in relation to cross-sectional area and speed and kind of the idea of energy and how it's dissipated across the actual armor system, you're looking at your basic forces that go into that. You're looking at your shear force, your compression force, and your tensile forces. Now, mainly in the systems that we've created so far, in the DIY homemade body armor world, I've been utilizing a tile as a front plate to basically capture and absorb that shear forces, and also those compressive forces, because those are some of the biggest things that start to deform the bullet, so that when the bullet penetrates through here, now its composition, its surface area of its cross-sectional area has increased, and it's actually started to open up. So its cross-sectional area has increased, and then also it's started to lose some of its material. It's actually lost some of its hard copper jacket, now the soft lead core is exposed. And so really once that happens and you get that large enough surface area, then you can really start to work on the next layer, which is mainly meant to absorb the tensile forces from that bullet, or the tensile forces in the material will absorb the energy of that bullet traveling through there. So normally what we've been using is the multi-layered plate, and what that does is really just kind of catch the bullet. Now, what we've done to kind of increase its capabilities is we've actually used an adhesive material which not only aids in its tensile strength, but it also aids in its compression and shear strengths. So typically when you add a poly resin, a construction adhesive, or silicone to the material, you're going to get some type of compression strength and shear strength out of that. Now, a silicone is going to have a lot less of a shear strength or compressive strength than, say, the poly resin, which has a higher shear strength, but it's going to have a little bit less of tensile strength. So it's a little bit of give and take there. And really, we've been working with these materials right here in the adhesive department to see kind of what we can play with to really get the most cost-effective solution out there. So in choosing your different fabrics, we've kind of settled on using denim, mainly because it's the cheapest and it's the easiest to test with. However, there's plenty of other materials out there. You can get Kevlar secondhand or even firsthand. That's pretty cheap. Fiberglass is probably one of the #1 solutions out there that is really cost effective. And really, Mind to Machine, if you go to his YouTube page, he's really done a lot of work with fiberglass and really come up with some really effective solutions at a very low cost. So check out his YouTube page. And then you get your other traditional fabrics such as nylon or denim or canvas. And so really all of these are effective options. It's really where you start to get into how much money do you want to spend, and how much do you want to do the testing, and how much involved you want to get into it. So anyways, those are some of the basic things surrounding what we've been going over in body armor, and then going over what does a projectile need in order for it to get that penetration of the body armor. So this is what we're trying to defeat, and this is the systems we're using. Now next, let's go ahead and get into some of the problems that we have with some of the DIY builds. Okay, now we've talked about some of the solutions that we've been coming up with, but we do have some problems out there that we need to address. And a lot of people have been bringing that up on the YouTube comment section below, and feel free to comment on this or bring up some ideas of your own. Now, some of the things that we've been worried about or been discussing is issues with the spall that's created from the bullet impact on the tile surface. Now, this is a problem whether you're talking with a hardened steel like AR500, or whether it's some type of ceramic material. You have to have something to catch that spall material. So what we've come up with is utilizing some type of adhesive coat, such as just putting on a layer of your construction adhesive on top, or using some type of woven fabric, which is basically just wrapping the whole system in in denim. And basically what that does is it'll prevent any fragments from going out. And we haven't tested it yet, but I'm pretty confident it's going to work. And really, Mind to Machine, once again, has done it with the fiberglass. And so he's kind of shown that solution does work. So the next thing is really the weight of the ceramic tile / denim plate. And we really need to discuss, is it cost effective? So, as you spend more money, you're going to get more protection. So as you start moving into better materials such as fiberglass or Kevlar or carbon nanotubes, you're going to get a better plate. Or as you move from a harder ceramic material, going from your basic, PEI level 1 to a PEI level 5, or stepping it up to the more advanced materials that they use in traditional ceramic tile body armor. So you're definitely going to see an immediate jump in the relative amount of protection you can get for the little amount of money you're going to be inputting into the system. And really you can just start developing a lot of protection without spending a whole lot of initial money into the project. But as soon as you start trying to increase it up to, you know, protection against 5.56, and then you start trying to jump into the larger calibers, you're going to start realizing that the weight of that plate is going to start growing rather exponentially, and you really don't want to get into that realm. So really we've been able to find solutions for handgun rounds, your traditional handgun rounds, but once you step into the rifle plates, you're looking at a lot more money. So what we're trying to do is just start nicking at, you know, 5.56, 7.62 by 39, your basic, you know, modern sporting rifle calibers, so that way, you know, those are the most traditional ones that people have, and that way you can stop about, you know, 99% of the threats out there. Now the other one is thickness. Now, you know, this is basically what we've kind of figured is about the thickness and about what will stop, you know, basic handgun round. And we're looking at doing something, you know, maybe a little bit thicker to stop 5.56, but, you know, being able to stop 5.56 is a pretty large feat. And what we don't want is, you know, trying to, you know, stack about 3.5 inches of material on someone's plate carrier. So we're going to try and keep it to a bare minimum. That's what we're really working for. And then also your cost. So commercially, for 130 bucks to 250 bucks, you can go out and get some AR500, some Spartan armor systems, equipment. I want you to check out their websites because they really do offer some really good body armor solutions for you for a very effective price. And one of the best deals out there is really used body armor. Now, Kevlar does degrade over time, but not to a significant amount where it's really ineffective. I'd really like you to check out some of the testing that's been done. And, you know, if you can find something that's only 5 years old, it may have, you know, enough years in it, you know, about 10 years, where you can purchase one of those second, you know, chance body armors systems or something, and it's you know, going to be pretty effective for you. So really look at that as an option. And, you know, the going DIY, yeah, it costs 20 to 50 bucks to really make some decent armor for you that's, you know, level 3A, you know, that we've kind of figured that we've been able to stop that, no problem. But the thing is that, are you really going to be confident in what you're, you know, utilizing, if you're going to be utilizing that during when you're training or anything like that? And we really don't recommend that, because that's not what you should be doing. You know, if you're really into, you know, shooting sports and you're going to be training with this equipment, you should really try and save that money. You know, start saving up a little bit over time, and then be able to purchase something that's really in the realm of what you're going to need, because when your life is on the line, you do not want DIY. Okay, you know, leave it to the professionals. And even though you can really think this out and test it a whole bunch, you know, are you really going to feel 100% safe if, you know, your life's on the line? So I really recommend that you go over to some of these guys such as AR500 and Spartan Armor Systems and check them out. They got some really good products out there, and there's many other different companies that are starting to develop out there that have really good products. So anyways, check them out. So anyways, I just hope this kind of tied everything together, and some of our future videos are really going to dive into, you know, trying to stop 5.56 threats, and really starting to try and build, you know, instead of just a 6x6 plate, we're going to build a larger system and maybe, you know, make a full chest plate. So anyways, stick with us, and I'll see you later on Prep No Do.